Mint and chocolate is a combination that's as kind of famous and iconic as it is both loved and hated in equal measure. Like salt and caramel, like gin and tonic. Some people think it's absolutely heavenly in the mouth, a match made in heaven, both rich and refreshing at the same time. And to other people, it tastes like you've decided to eat a chunk of chocolate while having a mouthful of toothpaste. I, throughout life, have been in both camps, but firmly in the former these days. And in celebration of the festive season we find ourselves in, and just because I had far too much mint chocolate lying around the house, today I bring you a recipe for some gorgeous, soft, chewy, super chocolatey mint chocolate chunk cookies. Let's get into it. Our lovely chunky chocolate mint cookies begin, as all good cookie recipes should, with some lovely soft salted butter. If you have unsalted, you can just add a pinch of salt to it. To this, we're going to add just a fairly generous amount of caster sugar. If you have brown sugar lying around, that will work well too. Just typically, I think with this recipe, caster sugar provides a kind of better and more neutral flavor for the mint to work with. And you're just going to want to mix those together until it kind of looks like clumpy, wet sand. It's not like we're making a cake. You don't need to make it all kind of nice and light and fluffy, just until there's no big lumps of butter or big chunky bits of sugar. To that, you're going to add some eggs, just one at a time, mixing well in between until you have a slightly more kind of soft mixture. Again, nothing too fluffy. We're not trying to incorporate much air here. And don't worry if it looks a little bit lumpy or separated. We're about to fix that with our dry ingredients. What you have before you here is a bowl of flour and cocoa powder, just kind of whisked or forked, if you will, together, just to combine them more evenly, which we're just going to kind of, recklessly chuck into our wet ingredients there. And we're going to follow that up with our mint chocolate. Now, for this, feel free to use any mint chocolate you like, whether it's dark, whether it's milk. If it has a filling, you might want to be a little bit more careful, but as long as it's mint flavored, such as a Cadbury mint bar or an Aero mint bar or anything of the sort, you should be absolutely fine. Now, at any point throughout the recipe, you can also add some peppermint extract or peppermint flavoring if you want a slightly stronger flavor, but I do find with the amount of the mint chocolate chunks we have in here, the flavor is just right. Once the dough has been sort of stirred together, it's nice and thick, and you've chilled it for at least an hour and anywhere up to 48 hours, it's time to bake. You're going to want to look out just a couple of baking trays and just pop a sheet of kind of greaseproof or parchment paper along the bottom just to make sure the biscuits don't stick. And you're just going to want to form little spheres, little balls of cookie dough, however big or small you like, depending on how many cookies you'd like and how, big and generous you'd like them to be. And just space them out generously across the trays. If you need to bake these in 2 or 3 batches, that is absolutely normal and also advised, just to make sure you're not overcrowding your tins, which can cause the cookies to kind of bump into each other, and though they'll still taste and have an absolutely gorgeous texture, they might just get a little bit too crowded in there. So at this point, you can just pop them straight into your preheated oven for anywhere between kind of 10 to 16 minutes, depending on the size of the cookies, until they come out looking nice and dry on top. A little bit puffed, a little bit spread, looking just a little bit darker than when they went in, and looking oh so soft and chewy and gooey and delicious. Of course, you are welcome to eat these warm. Wouldn't recommend them straight from the oven, as the burn on the roof of your mouth is not ever worth it. But these are just as good warm as they are at room temperature. You can even chill these in the fridge for an extra kind of refreshing chocolate mint hit too. These make a great snack, a great breakfast, a great dessert, or a great gift. Hope you love them as much as I have.